All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High and His only begotten Son. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Wakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who root and teach well. Wabarakathum unto the hopeful elect. All right, now today through the Spirit is going to be a lesson going into a vision that I received. Happened to receive last night. All right, and it basically really just showed me like, how it's going to be in these latter times. Just gave a little example because, the time is going to be a time never before seen. We read the scriptures, but however, we're going to get our faith tested at a level that we can't even imagine. It's going to be, these times for to come into is going to be so evil, like bad times. It's going to be basically to the point where we're going to need divine intervention. All right, but we're vastly approaching it, and I happen to, get a vision, kind of going into something that's going to come in these latter times, which is really, going to kick, really just like that's going to be the end all. Wait, once this thing happens, it's it. Like the Lord can come back, and that's speaking of the Revelation 13 and 16, that charagma. All right, but basically in this vision, I happen to be with a lot of brothers, in a GMS Dallas camp. It's like we fled. We all had our garments on, which, a beautiful garments is the truth. We all had our garments on, and we happened to be just, and it was like we were just out. It was like a wilderness looking type place. And we happened to go into this building, and I think we were about to, we were just gathering together. I believe it was about to, probably could have been about the whole camp or something. We happened to be, or do a sit down. We happened to be inside of a build, like it was a building. It was it was an odd structured building, and it happened to it was across two. It was another building right directly across from it. And while we were there, we didn't even get to everybody was putting their stuff down, and then we started seeing soldiers and seeing we already started seeing all types of militant, looked like they were, what is it? Probably were National Guardmen. I ain't really look. They ain't seem to be like, the trained soldiers, but they still had weapons and everything, and they were just searching around. And so brothers started fleeing and flee, they started fleeing and going to other places. They were departing, and I happened to be trying to keep up, and then I ended up getting left. We ended up separating. Brothers went in different directions. All right, now basically, I had found something. It was like an underground home or some shit. You know what I mean? I happened to go that way, and when I went and while I was going, I thought I was gonna be able to escape, and it was like whoever was over the National Guard. He ended up finding me and a couple of other brothers, but the other brothers, they somehow kind of escaped. But I happened to, they basically kind of just left. But the whoever the guy was that was over all those National Guard members, the other guys that had weapons and everything, but him, he kind of was just let people go. He could have really just pushed issue and went after brothers, but he just kind of let brothers go. And I happened to be it's like I went down into an underground home or something, and we were trying to escape, and I was there, and I was basically stuck in there. I'm like, damn. I'm stuck here. But I was, the Spirit of the Lord had me calm and everything, and I just was like, man, whatever. If something happens, something happens. So I basically was down there, and then the warden ended up just letting me go. And he had he had a woman that was it was a big ass Southern Kingdom woman. She wasn't fat, but she was tall. She was fit and everything, but she was tall as hell. Probably 6'2" or some shit, but she basically was built real good. He had him a younger 6'2" little Eve in there cooking, and then she basically was he had signaled her to escort me out of their little underground home or whatever they was in. And then I was going, and I was walking, and then when I came to the door, because I kind of tried to leave myself, and you can't even leave by yourself. The door literally, if you didn't have that charagma, you weren't gonna be able to get out that door. So it was like she was escorting me out. And I was trying to, like it was before she escorted me. I was trying to find a way to get out the door, and I couldn't even get out. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I couldn't even get out because you only could maneuver if you had that Karagma. Revelation 13 and 16. So she came to the door and she was doing it, and it wasn't working at first, but she finally did it and then let me out. And she's like, when she let me out, I had got out of there kind of quick, and I kind of started moving real fast, and I was leaving, like escaping, and I was like, I gotta make a lesson on this, and I had ran off. But basically, it just kind of showed, how it's been to be a transition or a shift, in the way this world is being done. But all the brothers, they ended up, the brothers that I was with, it was a couple of brothers in the GMS Dallas camp, they ended up escaping, and really, it really is fulfilled the scripture. When a man's ways please the Lord, he make his enemies to be at peace with him. And that's what happened. We basically, the Lord has had to set up. We were able to just go in peace. But it showed how it was more of everything was more policed in that time. And then when I went underground, you couldn't really maneuver in those buildings like that if you didn't have that Karagma. It was like they was fashioned a certain type of way, so it was hard for brothers to escape and get out of there. But the other brothers escaped. But the way I escaped, I had to get let out. But the guy that was over the National Guard, he kind of wasn't really, he just let us go. But that's not going to be a case for a lot of brothers in these times coming into. It's going to be, a lot of brothers going to be martyrs. And then you going to have brothers that get spiritual power, but Esau is going to come down on us, man. But that was just a small example, showing a way of deliverance. Show a little deliverance, and it also show what's getting ready to happen in these times we're coming into. So that's this thing is real close as here. And I basically seen exactly how it worked, how like the technology that they developed. You couldn't do nothing if you didn't have that Karagma. Like it was like to maneuver in the house and all that. It wasn't like some of the door, it wasn't even doorknobs on the front doors and stuff. They had they had this little technology looking shit, and you had to beat, then you can get out of the house. So it was like, man. And then it was like to get out, to deal with the in that building we was in, you couldn't maneuver in that. It was weird. Like it was just, everything was like, what the, you know what I mean? But that just shows the time periods we're coming into. The Lord is about to make it where we're gonna have to unplug. Because brothers didn't really flee, had nowhere to flee to. I didn't know where I was going. I'm about to make a lesson, but I ain't had nowhere exactly where I was going to go. I was just like, shit, you know what I mean? We just about to go somewhere. And that's the time period we're coming into. It says, in those evil days be as pilgrims upon the earth. In 2 Ezra 16 and 40. So that's the time period we're vastly approaching, man. All right, but hey, Lord will, that lesson gave a little exhortation or edification, man. That's the time period we're coming into, that Karagma. That thing is very well the Revelation 13 and 16. All right, but anyways, that's it. On the double honors to the apostles, great millstone, and I'm gonna end the lesson off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakadash. Till next time, Shalom.